Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yannick Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, our guest is Joanna Hagelberger. Joanna is currently the Vice President of Customer Success at Rhoads Online, a technology provider of compliance solutions to the insurance industry. Her entire professional career has been in the insurance industry, with the last 20 years in insurtech. Joanna is passionate about the customer experience, particularly the benefit a strong account management program can bring to an organization and its customers. In her current role, Joanna is responsible for ensuring customers and prospects are having the best possible experience with Rhoads. Joanna received her BS and MS in communication from Florida State University. She is a licensed insurance agent in the state of Michigan, and she is a certified executive coach. So without further delay, sit back, plug your earphones in, and let's jump right into this conversation with Joanna. Welcome, Joanna.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Perfect. All right. Could you share with our listeners a little bit about your journey, how it is that you got from where you were to where you are today?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, I can tell you that no one as a little girl dreams or as a kid dreams someday I'm going to be working insurance. So most people, as I did, stumble into it somewhere along the way. And mine was a work study position when I was in college. As a part of my financial aid, I was given a job working in the employee benefits office at Florida State. And that ended up taking me into their insurance office where they administered their insurance, how their employees got insurance. So when I got out of grad school and was looking for a job, I had this insurance knowledge of how the insurance space worked. And that landed me with a position of a company that is today known as Willis Towers Watson. It was Willis Croon at the time, became just Willis, a la Cher and Madonna, and now has added new names again. So that has taken me down a path. I've worked for insurance brokers, insurance agencies, insurance companies, third-party administrators. I've been on all different sides of the business. And about 20 years ago, I had the opportunity to jump to the other side of the business and work in insurance technology, where insurance historically has been a very paper-based, manual, difficult industry where everything is delivered by paper, form is completed with pen and paper. And this company was working to build automation with insurance producers, the people that actually sell the insurance agencies and the insurance companies, and how they communicate with the state departments of insurance. And that's pretty much how I ended up where I am today. It just has grown over time.
All right. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about Rhoads Online? What is Rhoads Online and what value do they bring to their customer base?
Sure. Just as I said, that insurtech that I went to 20 years ago, Rhoads is in that same space. So what we do is help insurance companies and agencies predominantly connect those insurance producers, the people that are selling insurance, get them contracted and make sure that they are appropriately licensed and credentialed to sell the insurance that they're selling before they do. Because if an individual sells a policy and they are not properly credentialed, they don't have all of the licenses, contracts, and the insurance company hasn't told the state that that person is selling for them, then the insurance company gets in trouble. That they will get for misbehaving. Mm-hmm. So making sure that all of that, that all of those ducks are in a row and everything is in order, it keeps the insurance company off the front page of the Wall Street Journal and allows them to sell compliantly and make sure that the consumer is protected when they do it.
All right, perfect. Now, a big part of what you do is customer success, right? And of course, that's typically ensuring that the client is getting exactly what they want and desire. Not sure if this is a quote that you made or it's just something that you live by as a mantra, but it states you can't just be reactive, you have to be proactive, predicting their needs before they even realize it. So could you tell us maybe 3 things that you've seen as recurring themes that come across being more proactive than reactive in the space that you operate in to ensure that you're able to maximize on customer success?
Sure. And, I think this is in any industry. It's not specific to what I do, but customer service to me is something that is tactical and reactive. You think about customer service, and customer service is something we all interact with, probably with a little bit of dread. And we hope that it's a good experience, that we're opening a chat bot, or we're sending in an email, or opening a ticket, or calling an 800 number. And we hope that for whatever reason we're calling that number, that whatever the issue is resolved. We want it to be resolved quickly and painlessly and to whatever satisfaction we hoped it would be. And that's, again, it's very reactive. It is in response to whatever I, as the consumer, am bringing forward, to that company, or as the customer, if it's B2B or B2C, it doesn't matter. Customer service is about fixing that one little thing that the person calling in has announced needs fixing. Where customer success to me is the opposite of that. It isn't reactive and it isn't tactical. The important thing is that we're being proactive, that we're getting in front of the customer and being intentional about having strategic conversations. Because as a company is moving forward and as they're growing, they want to make sure that that path forward and that growth is aligned with the path forward and the growth of their customers. If our development team builds a brand new piece of functionality and no one uses it, then that has been a waste of time of our development team, number one, but also the opportunity cost that's lost because we didn't build something that our customers would have really liked, what they would have used and what they would have needed. So it is all about being proactive and being strategic. And what I mean by strategic is simply looking farther ahead. It's not what's happening in the moment right now. It's where are we going together, and making sure that those things stay aligned as we continue to move forward. Because what my goals are and what I'm trying to accomplish in 6 months, a year, 3 years, 5 years, those are going to keep changing as time moves forward. So making sure that we keep having those conversations, leaving those lines of communication open, sharing what's going on in the industry and what's going on in our customers' business, as well as what's going on in my business. That's how we all move forward and stay aligned.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. It did answer my question. Now, you've been in insurance for over 2 decades, Joanna, and I'm sure you've seen lots of ups and downs, hills and gullies kind of thing. But in your own experience, especially as we're moving forward, embarking on a new calendar year, what are maybe 1 or 2 things that you believe as an organization, especially in the industry, the insurance industry specifically, you would need to be focusing on to ensure that you're setting yourself apart and truly giving the customer more than they expect, and kind of living to what you were saying, trying to predict their needs before they know they even need it?
Yeah, I really think the big thing, especially in the insurance industry, is that the Googles and Amazons of the world have set an expectation for across all industries that technology is easy to use, that I should be able to get the answers to my questions with the click of a button and with the phone that's in my hand. I shouldn't have to go to, the horror, a real computer. I should be able to, from a mobile device, be able to do anything that I should need to be able to do with any business partner of mine from my phone. So I really think that expectation is where the insurance industry needs to focus. There is so much talk about AI and blockchain and chatbots and all of the magical technology that's out there. But if we can't meet the basic table stakes of being able to get a quote for insurance from my phone, then that insurance company will not be able to succeed. If I am standing on the side of the road and I live in Michigan in certain times of the year and we hit deer, it happens. And if I am on the side of the road because I've just hit a deer or had any kind of an accident, if I can't pull out my phone and initiate that claim from my phone, I'm not going to stay with that insurance company because they haven't met my need when I needed them.
True.
So I really think being to meet those basic needs from core technology is where the insurance industry needs to focus right now.
Perfect. Brilliant answer. All right. Now, could you share with our listeners what's the one online tool, app, or website that you absolutely can't live without in your business?
I have a couple. Because of what I do, the CRM that we use, that's how I keep my pulse on what's going on in our business. So we happen to use Salesforce, but I've used HubSpot in the past, and there are other great CRMs out there. But the most important thing is having one central repository to be able to see everything that's going on through the life cycle of your customer. You know, if you're working in customer experience and you can't see what's going on with your customers and you're trying to use, an Excel spreadsheet or some other form of technology, there's just no way to get that 360-degree view. But personally, within customer success, there is an amazing website called capta.com, and that's Capta with a K.
Mm-hmm.
So KAPT.com. And Capta.com is a technology that integrates with your CRM. Not what I'm endorsing here. I'm sure it's great, but I've not actually used that technology. But the number of resources that Capta has on their website to help people that work in key account management, whatever form of that is you work in, they have so many resources available to help account managers be successful with their customers and to help organizations and leaders know how to help their account managers be successful. So Capta is amazing. And then specifically in my industry, InsurTech Connect, ITC, has a 6 Things newsletter that is just incredible. It keeps you informed of everything that could be going on in the insurance industry that has anything to do with technology. And it's an interesting read for anyone.
All right. Thank you for sharing. Could you also share with our listeners any books that you've read? It could be a book that you've read recently or even one you read a very long time ago, but it has had a great impact on you.
You know, there are 2 that I find myself going back to over and over and over again. And the first one is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It helps from an organizational perspective as well as on an individual perspective, whether you're working with customers, with employees, knowing the why of why you do what you do. And a common theme in my world is, and it's not about you. It's not about me. It's not about what I'm doing. It's about the customer, and it's about the employee and why they do what they do. And if we can be other focused and know why people are motivated to do the things that they do, and to know what our why is and why we get up each morning and why we're helping our customers and why these things matter. I've listened to Simon's podcast, and he's just brilliant. And that all started with Start With Why for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an excellent book.
Yeah. The second one is a book called Unleashed. It's by Ann Morris and Francis Fry. And it's all about empowerment, and when you're working in account management or customer success or customer service, this is a tough job. It's a tough job where the people in this space spend a lot of time getting yelled at, oftentimes, and they're trying to make the customer's world a better place. And when you can come from a perspective of empowering those people to be successful, to have the ability to make the decisions that makes the customer's world a better place, it's better for the customer, it's better for the company, and it's better for the human that gets to make those decisions. If they sit there all day, every day saying, I'm sorry, I don't know, but I'll check on that and get back to you, that's a very difficult space to be in. So being able to empower people to their greatest version of themselves it's really powerful, and it's really a game changer.
Amazing. All right. So we will have the links to those 2 books in the show notes of this episode. Now, Joanna, can you also share with us what's the one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? Either something you're working on to develop yourself or your people.
This year I got the opportunity to spend some time really diving into the Enneagram. And if your listeners aren't familiar with the Enneagram, it's a personality assessment type profile that looks at why people behave the way that they do. So Enneagrams have types. You do an assessment. It gives you a direction on what your type may be, and then you do some more homework, and you confirm that that is your type. And Beatrice Chestnut wrote a book called The Complete Enneagram, and I've really had the opportunity to pour into that. And what I love about it is it doesn't matter what part of your life you're looking at, whether it's about your employees, your boss, your any other coworkers, your spouse, your kids, family members, customers, it doesn't matter. Being able to get insight into what charges people up, what gets them to behave the way that they do. And then when they're doing well, why you might see some other characteristics where when they're feeling stressed or things are difficult, you can look for other traits that might come in. It has been incredibly insightful. And I feel like reading Beatrice's book has been a college level course on this,
Mm-hmm.
but the amount of insight that it's given into people. And then the other thing that is maybe a little bit more approachable to people rather than reading a giant textbook is Ian Crone, that's Cron. Ian Crone has a podcast called Typology. It is just fascinating where he talks to people with different Enneagram types and about how they interact with the world. And it's just fascinating and has been so much fun to learn this year.
All right, awesome. So those are definitely some learning tools that our listeners can tap into, and they're free, thank the Lord, so we can all explore new learning opportunities. So thank you for sharing that information with us, Joanna. Now, Joanna, our listeners would have tapped into this episode and they would like to connect with you online. Where can they find you online?
Sure, I'm on LinkedIn. Joanna Hagelberger. There aren't a lot of us out there, so easy to find. And then if you'd like to know more about Rhoads, it's Rhoads, RHOADS, rhoadsonline.com.
All right, so we'll have the links for our listeners if they would like to tap into that and connect with you further. Now, before we wrap our episodes up, we always like to ask our guests, do you have a quote or a saying that during times of adversity or challenge, you'll tend to revert to this quote? If for any reason you get derailed or you get off track, this quote kind of helps you to get back on track. Do you have one of those?
I do. Maya Angelou, which I'm sure many of your guests have quoted because she's very quotable. I'm sure I'm going to misquote her, but this is how I hear it in my head, is that people will forget what you said and did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And I feel like when we're dealing, this is all about customer experience. And if we can just remember that how we make our customers feel and how they experience us makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, amazing. All right. Thank you so much, Joanna, for taking time out of your very busy schedule, hopping on this podcast with us today and sharing all of the great insights that you've learned and just best practices that you've taken on as an individual, as a customer service practitioner in your own right, especially in your industry, and just looking at some opportunities that we can strengthen building out our customer success teams and actually giving customers, as you had stated earlier, giving them what they need before they even know that they need it. And I thought that was really brilliant. So thank you so much again.
Thanks for having me.
Just want to remind our listeners, feel free to follow us on Twitter at Navigating CX, and feel free to join our private Facebook group, Navigating the Customer Experience Community. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant. We also have a new book available on Amazon, The ABCs of a Fantastic Customer Experience. It's available in ebook and paperback. So if you want to increase revenue in your organization, build a stronger service culture, and create employees or develop employees who are really mastering service delivery in your business, you need to grab a copy of this book. Until next time, I'm your host, Yannick Grant.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.